of us because we're on Skype and they don't see this, but I am telling you right now, I love the passion that you have bringing this topic right now. I love it. I do want to ask you though, right now, Jay. Hey, who would you rather have on this defense? Would you rather have Blake Martinez or a guy like Deion Jones?
In 2019,
Yeah.
with the defense we play and what Penn wants to do, if you take injury out of it, you got it, Deion Jones, because he can
Why?
cover.
Why?
Because Deion Jones he's shown that he is a lighter, faster. He's basically what they thought Oren Burks was going to be. A guy that essentially probably played DB until he got a little bigger and his balls dropped and he put some size on him, but his athletic ability came with him. He didn't lose a bunch of speed. Martinez is that guy that was probably thick and buff and wanted to be buff, and he never really was going to be fast. He wasn't born fast. I bet you he's got thick ankles. Something I'll tell you, all you people out there. You want to know who's quick? You want to know who's fast? Don't look at how big they are. Look at the motherfuckers with skinny ankles. Skinny ankles mean quick feet. Quick feet means you're going to be fast. Don't mean how big you are. It's about your ankles, buddy. And if you don't think I'm right, go look at Warren Sapp. He's got skinny ankles.
All right, so you just kind of said what I was thinking. Like, that's the type of linebacker I'm talking about.
I love Martinez, but Martinez, again, he's your typical linebacker. He's all the build of a typical linebacker. He can cover within 15. His max is probably 20 yards. That's what most linebackers are. Otherwise, you're a DB, dude. Like, I'm sorry. That's not in your job description at any point. There is no defensive coordinator that's going, do you know who I want covering 40 yards down the field? My middle linebacker. There has never once been a defensive play drawn up where the scheme has schemed for a middle linebacker to purposely cover somebody downfield that far. But that's why the game is changing. That's why Deion Jones is actually a linebacker instead of a strong safety. 20 years ago, he ain't sniffing middle linebacker even if you put weights in his pocket. Because of his speed, he'd be, you're a tweener. If we're going to put you at strong safety, we'll put you 8-man in the box. In today's game, he's an effective middle linebacker, but he's always banged up. And that's an issue. You can't make the club in the tub, man.
All right. That's good. That's a good answer. I like it. All right. So that was really passionate by Jay, and I love that. I absolutely love guys that say, "Hey, this is my platform. I'm gonna beat this shit to a pulp because this is what I firmly believe in," and that's what Jay just did, and I love that about Jay.
Look, and it's not a hot take. It's not being me being facetious. That's
I didn't say
how
it was
I
a hot
played.
take.
No, and I'm saying this for the people out there, Ryan. It's how I played football. It's how I see the game, the way I analyze it. It doesn't have to be. You don't have to agree with it. It's just how. That's how I see the game, and from my experience playing it at the position, what I know about football from the defensive standpoint, what I see it shifting. That's truly what I believe. It's not that I don't like middle linebackers. I got something against them. I was a free safety. I also was dependent on a middle linebacker and a defensive line because guess what? At 5'5", I had no chance against anybody that was any bigger than me getting a big running start. I had to be the guy laying the boom, not getting the boom laid on me. I wasn't doing that. So, it's not that I don't like them. It's just it's just the truth as I see it. And so, yeah, I'm going to pound the table and get pissy.
I love it. Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. I'm the same way. I'm not that much taller than you, so I'm going to do the same thing. But all right. That being said, we got to carry on in this show. So we had a lot of stuff going positive for us, in terms of offense. And then what happened was we just kind of gave some shit up on defense. And I feel like Andy Reid, who to me is a really good coach, his play calls for the touchdowns were pretty damn good. What do you guys think in terms of just kind of that whole Andy Reid play calling on the offense versus Mike Pettin on the defense? What are your thoughts in terms of just how that went? And kind
You and
of.
I have ranted a lot, and Dave has been over there damn near falling asleep. We need to let Dave
Nope,
talk.
I'm awake.
No, I was making a joke. I'm saying we
I just
talked
didn't
a
want
lot.
to interrupt your
Shut up, Dave.
inside
Just
linebacker
talk.
hate.
Just talk, Dave. Shut the hell up. You
So,
big, ugly
to the
bastard.
to the Andy Reid question, Andy Reid's probably one of the most brilliant offensive minds we're going to face this year, along with Kyle Shanahan. Those two are probably going to be the top of the list. We just walked out a W against Andy Reid, having to prepare off a bye week for us. He had extra time, and he still couldn't get it done. I understand he didn't have Pat Mahomes, but I believe he was top 5 most wins with a backup quarterback out of all NFL history. He was the 5th place coach on that list. So that's saying something. We just walked out of KC, dangerous, hostile environment, and now to me we've got one more offensive style guru in Kyle Shanahan coming up here in a couple games. It's definitely going to be fun to watch because we're going into hostile territory on that one again. So with Reid, he had time to prepare for us. Like I just said, there was no reason that he shouldn't have been ready. And I'm going to say this, Mike Pettin came out and only gave up 110 yards and 1 touchdown in the second half. That's it, compared to the first half. So he came in, adjusted, as he always does. It's either after a quarter in the first or at the half. And he will make the right adjustments. What I saw in the first half, he was playing more zone. Second half, he was playing more man-to-man and going ahead and bringing a little bit more pressure on Matt Moore, and it was working. It was getting there. Yeah, there wasn't a lot of sacks. There was only 2, but there was still pressure, and it was throwing him off. He was getting those little happy feet. So props to Mike Pettin for going ahead and shutting down that Kansas City offense that was working so well in the first half. Also, welcome back, Darnell Savage. He had just as many tackles as Blake did tonight, had 7. He was all over the place. He was trying to clean up the mess that was all those zones that got dropped in front of him. So, you know what? I think Darnell Savage had a decent game. As the big plays happened in the first half, there wasn't much in the second half, and I think Darnell Savage had a little bit more free reign on that rather than sticking to his own.
Yeah, I'm going to have to rewatch the game and see. I feel like he didn't have the greatest game. I feel like he was a little rusty.
First half, no. Second half, had a lot better.
Yeah. But, I mean, at the end of the day, it's still better to have him out there than to not have him because
and Will
he's
Redmond.
that good. Yeah. Yeah.
So, also, too, I got to bring up this, guys. Obviously, there's some weak points on the team. Like, inside linebacker, I agree with you, Ryan. I love Blake, Jay, but after watching tonight, I don't know. I'm a little on the fence just about Blake. And there's some guys out there, like I mentioned, Zach Brown. There's also a trade candidate in Miami that I wouldn't mind, in Raekwon McMillan. He's a run stuffer, and he can also cover. He's on a crap Miami team. I'm pretty sure they'll take a mid-round draft pick for him. He wasn't drafted high. I don't expect them to try and move him for a high draft pick. Also, too, one nitpick I've got since week 1, our returning game sucks.
Oh that's in my notes.
God. If we could trade tomorrow or Tuesday before the deadline and get a guy like Jakeem Grant or Albert Wilson as a return man, just not even a part of the offense, just a return man. That's all I want. To have that factor in there, it would complete this team wholeheartedly. Also, inside linebacker.
I had that in my notes from last week's game, and I didn't bring it up on the podcast. I don't know why. I kind of skipped it, but we need to bring it up now because Darius Shepard is not.
I just want to jump in real quick with a stat shout out from number 1 Packers fan at Parker Mullis. Just tweeted this out. It's Aaron Rodgers this season so far through the first half of the year. 185 of 283 for 65% completions for 2,324 yards, 16 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, which were both tipped by the receiver, okay? For a 106.6 passer rating, Rodgers, the last 4 games since they've really been on fire offensively, 98 of 137 for 72%, 1,255 yards, 10 touchdowns, 1 INT, which was off the Shepard at the goal line, a 121-point passer rating, and barely anybody talking about him as MVP because they should be right now. Sorry, I just...
He
definitely
climbed his way back into it.
Good little tweet.
But yes, Darius Shepard, Ryan, you were talking about him.
Yeah, so I made note of it last week, and I'm going to make note of it again. Like, his roster spot is on the hot seat, big time. He hasn't done shit. And the fact that Shannon Sullivan is doing his basically role, like, Shepard's role on this offense was supposed to be as a return man, and he's not even doing that at this point. Shannon Sullivan's doing it. We're talking about a defensive player doing punt return and kick return. Yeah, Shepard, you're done. Your role on this offense is very limited and numbered at this point. It doesn't help that when you had the opportunity to make a fucking catch that you didn't catch it, and then it turned into an interception for Aaron Rodgers against the Lions in the red zone. Yeah, that doesn't help your cause. And then the other chance that you had, it turned it over again. Like, we don't have people in positions when it comes to return game that are actually going to do something to give us a better field position. That's something that we've been lacking for years. And I really, really wish that we had somebody on this roster that when you knew that if they're back, whether it's on the punt return or kick return, that if they caught the ball, there's an opportunity that they might actually gain like a good 10, 20 yards. We don't have that. We haven't had that literally since Alan Watson.
Yeah, because since Shepard fumbled, he's fair caught everything. Even if there's room to run it back, it's just been ridiculous.
His head is straight up in the air. He doesn't even look for any room.
He's scared.
It's like,
he's scared.
If that's all you're gonna do, I can pay some fan out of the stands $10 a game to do that shit. Like,
exactly.
Like, I'm sorry, you were an undrafted free agent rookie. You've got to be able to do more than throw your hand over your head in the air and just catch it like that. No,
exactly.
It's not. I agree with you 100% because that right there was what we've seen from special teams with the complacency of Mike McCarthy as well. As long as he doesn't muff it and just catches it, Aaron Rodgers can take it and go 90 yards. Fuck that. Why does Aaron got to go 80 yards every goddamn time? Give him a short field because guess what? You're guaranteed 3 points then. Like, I totally agree with you. And I don't think that they're complacent with it. I just think it's been overlooked a little bit unintentionally right now.
No, I don't think they're actually complacent with it. And the fact that I believe that is the fact that I was hearing tweets that they are looking to replace Darius Shepard. And guess what reality is? They did. They replaced Darius Shepard with Shannon Sullivan. So that tells me that they're actually legit when it comes to we are not going to be complacent when it comes to the return game and special teams, which I fucking love because most of the time they are. Mike McCarthy was complacent in the fact that, oh, yeah, you might suck at the return game, but we're still going to trot you back out there. But the fact that we are not, that we're replacing you and that your roster spot in this roster is on the hot seat, a.k.a. Darius Shepard, that tells me all I need to know, and I love it, that you are not good enough as one, as a wide receiver in this offense, and two, as a punt and kick return. Like, you're not changing the field. You're not flipping the field at all. So if you're not going to do that, why are you on this roster?
Especially when you look at what Alan Lazard has done with his opportunities. And
he's doing great. Lazard's been great.
And Peter Bukowski tweeted out a tweet that from a fan he'd retweeted with a great comment that said, where was Geronimo Allison? And he retweeted with the comment that said, getting his snaps taken by Alan Lazard all night.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to tell you this.
Allison's done in my mind.
I tried to
Kumro
tell you
stepped
guys
up
this
big time,
before
too.
this, though. Allison, everybody